Welcome to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison.
I'm Molly, a former skeptic turned full-time energy healer and teacher.
And I'm Madison, a born and raised witch running my family's crystal shop.
And we're here to explore all things woo through the lens of both science and spirituality so that you can find the moments of magic in your everyday life and create an intentional spiritual practice.
So if that's what you're into, find a cozy spot, take a deep breath, and let's demystify some magic. Howdy doody, friends.
A howdy doody Friends Day.
You can tell we've been doing this podcast for a minute because we had a really good idea for an episode and then realized we did it last year.
We already did it. We made that episode. That exists in the world.
And so we are hitting you with a little bit of a rerun this week because as of July 18th, Mercury is retrograde.
Dun, dun, dun.
It will be retrograde until August 11th. And so we're going to run it back with one of our faves. This is our Mercury Retrograde Rituals episode from November of 2024, and we hope you enjoy.
It's a survival guide because I don't know about you, but I am barely holding on.
Yeah, this shadow period that we're in right now at the time of recording.
Rough.
It's been rough. So we are taking our own advice and taking a moment for some self-care.
And if you don't like reruns, tough.
I've got great news. We've got over 100 backlogged episodes that you can listen to this week.
Yeah. Although unanimously, almost everyone, when we polled people about reruns, were like, yeah, we like them because I get a new perspective. And I agree. So
maybe give it a try.
Yeah.
But if not, that's okay too. We love you and we'll see you next week.
And we love you. And bye.
Bye. We are deep in the throes of this Mercury retrograde shadow period. By the time you're listening to it, we will be exactly 24 hours into this Mercury retrograde.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. If you didn't know, Mercury will be retrograde in Sagittarius from the 25th of November to the 15th of December.
Love that for us.
So nothing better than a Thanksgiving retrograde, you know, to really get us through those communication problems.
So we have done an episode about Mercury retrograde before, but it was kind of mishmashed in with other things like Samhain last year and eclipse season, maybe?
I think so.
I don't think we've done like a full Mercury retrograde episode. If we have, this is your part 2.
Congratulations. This is where we try it again. Because we figured, why not? We're deep in the throes of it. We're suffering. You're probably suffering too.
Especially after that full moon was a doozy for everyone I know.
Truly, I don't know anyone who's been in a good mood this week, I'll be honest.
No, not a single. Yeah, that was rough.
So if you were in a real shit mood last week and you didn't know why,
we're all in it together.
We're all in it together.
All in this together.
Basketball. But before we get into all that, Molly, what was your magic moment amongst the yuck?
My magic moment is yesterday we sat down to record this, but we had a couple of other things we had to do first. Namely, we had to plan our merch drop, which is coming. Is it next week?
Is it next week?
Is it next week?
By the time you're listening to this, yes, surprise!
Surprise!
December the 3rd, the next time you hear from us,
it'll be our merch drop. That'll be so exciting. So next week we'll tell you all about it. But we had to plan that, and then we had to also plan a very...
First of all, wait, can I just say, it shows how on top of things we are. We had to plan that yesterday.
To be fair, we have been wearing our merch samples for like 3 weeks.
We have been planning.
And just putting off the launch part of it. And then I met with my astrologer last week and I was like, okay, please give me a deadline.
One thing we need is somebody to tell us what to do and when.
She was like, this would be a really good window.
Being self-led,
yeah,
not great for us.
Self-led with ADHD is a struggle sometimes. Anyways, merch is coming next week. We'll tell you all about it. But as we were planning merch, we had to plan our merch photo shoot. Which I don't remember how this idea came up, but if you've been an avid listener of the pod, you know that Madison and I have never been to Disney together, even though she lives near Disney. Disney World.
Even though I live near Disney World and I haven't been to Disney World in years.
Oh, I am a Disney adult, but not in the way that I have a bunch of Disney merchandise, more so in the way that I have a lot of Disney random facts just drilled into my brain.
She's got the lore.
I've got the Disney lore. I love the lore of Disney. Walt Disney, not a great guy, but the innovation of those fucking parks, I can't get over it. And so I've wanted to go to Disney with my buddy Madison for like 2 years now, and we just have not been able to. So it's her birthday this past weekend, if you are
Yeah, you missed
live.
it. Sorry.
Sorry. And so I told her months ago, I'm taking you to Disney for your birthday. And then a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the merch launch and how we can make it more fun. And originally we had planned like a photo shoot, but the timing just like kept getting mixed up. It just like felt harder than it needed to be. And our rule with anything that we create on this podcast is it has to feel easy and fun. And so I said to her,
and before Molly says what her idea was, I have to tell you that like this podcast was Molly's idea. Like so much that has happened. Merch was her idea. When she told me this, I said to her, I'm understanding the gravity of what I'm saying right now. This is the best idea you've ever had. Nothing tops this. Nothing, no idea you have had, no idea you will have is better than this idea.
I said to her that what if we two birds, one stoned it, and we wore our merch to Disney and we got the photo pass and we just had our photos were just us on rides and us with characters wearing our merch, and that's how we promoted it.
And so when you see our Instagram has just become what looks like ad space for Disney World, just know that we are not sponsored by the mouse.
Wish we were. I paid full price for those tickets and that photo pass. Bar Copper, here we come. But my magic moment is we finally booked that trip and it's actually happening. It won't happen before the merch launch, but it will happen after. So get ready.
You'll see those photos. You'll never be able to hear the end of us. That's the way. The thing is, I'm so bad at promoting things. Mm-hmm. Famously, before we started recording, I had to ask Molly how to promote something. One way to get me to post about this merch is to give me a silly photo.
Silly photo. I'm already writing out like a photos we need to collect. Like I'm picturing the photo with the Little Treat Magic shirt. I'm going to be holding like 12 churros, just like
Perfect.
Fisting churros.
Perfect. Excellent. I can't wait.
We'll be going to Chicken Salad Chick after.
Oh my God, please. Get me a little cookie.
Anyways, what was your magic moment?
My magic moment is that we're sharing custody of a ghost, I think.
The paranormal has crossed state lines. We used to just share custody of bad moods, rancid vibes, and now we're sharing a ghost.
This is a conspiracy theory that Molly came up with because she obviously just moved and has had some weird things have happened. Every time Molly texts me about having something weird happen in her house, something weird happens in my house, to the point they're like eerily similar, where like something weird, it was like your heat went, or your like stove kept tripping or something, and when your husband came home, it was all totally fine.
Yeah. We have videographic evidence of that, by the way. It'll be on YouTube.
I have no evidence of this, so you'll just have to take my word for it. I have a little robot vacuum. His name is Gilbert. So Molly texts me about the weirdness that her husband was not able to see because it got solved when another person became involved. Mm-hmm. I read that text. I said, oh, that's compelling evidence. I walk into my bathroom. There I find Gilbert stuck under the bathroom vanity, physically a place he cannot get under. He's too tall. And I try to pull him out, and like I'm like, you live here now, Gilbert. Like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah, that's your docking station now.
It was so wild. Can't get him out. I tried for like maybe 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, Drew's just going to have to I'm going to have to ask Drew to help me somehow. Drew comes home. I'm like, dude, look at Gilbert. He's stuck under the bathroom vanity. Drew slides him out. No fucking problem.
No.
Partially I was relieved because I was like, this robot vacuum was kind of expensive.
Mm-hmm. And it's, a sentient being in your household.
I love him. He's my son. I care about him and his well-being. I don't want him to live under the vanity.
No, understandable.
But under that relief was an undercurrent of anger. Of like, what the fuck do you mean? And so then I'm like, gaslighting myself of like, did I not try hard enough? But no, there is no way. He was too tall. So Molly and I are sharing custody of this ghost.
Mm-hmm.
As much as it did, like moments like that do obviously really irritate me. I think it's fun. I love a little haunted house.
Love a little haunted house.
I was disappointed when nothing started happening immediately upon arrival in this move-in. And now
you're welcome.
We share everything.
We do. We really do. It's very strange, actually.
It's just been like a fun, silly thing in our lives. I feel like in our friendship, like it's very easy to only talk about the podcast and things that like come along with it and like send screenshots of like whatever. And so when I have something else to talk about, like something else to share with you, it's always an extra layer of like fun of like, look at what our ghost did today.
Yeah. And now I'm less frustrated at the fact that all of our appliances stop working very briefly and then start working again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can just send them back to my house.
I know. So that's what I will be doing. I'll be saying, go bother Madison.
And I'll be saying no.
And I'll just text you and I'll be like, Gilbert Sr. is coming for you.
I was going to say, what do we name him?
Gilbert Sr.
But then I'm going to get confused.
We should ask him what his name is. Remember Daniel?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. The ghost at Spellcrafter?
Uh-huh.
You originally thought his name was Daniel. Now what's his name?
No, we originally, we named him something else.
Yeah, but his name is Daniel.
Okay. What did we name him? I don't remember.
Someone will tell us because we talked about it on the pod.
I'm sure.
Pop quiz.
Anthony will text me and be like, how fucking dare you forget the name I gave Daniel. All right. Should we talk about Mercury retrograde?
We should.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So for those who don't know, or, if you've heard the term Mercury retrograde and you just know that it's a time that everybody thinks sucks. And famously, there's the website is Mercury in retrograde. Mercury retrograde is actually technically an astrological optical illusion, which I think is so cool.
Ooh.
Where I don't know exactly why, but occasionally it appears that Mercury is traveling backwards in the sky. Mm-hmm. And so it's actually moving in the reverse direction through the signs, right? Like instead of going like Aries, Taurus, Cancer, blah, 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 it's going the other way. Counterclockwise, if you will.
Anti-clockwise for those of us in the UK. Those of us, I'm not in the UK.
Is that what they say?
I'm in New England, not England. Yeah, they say anti-clockwise.
The new and improved England.
Someone needs to read more books written by UK authors.
Sorry.
The things I learned.
Little things I can pick up. But right now, Mercury is in Sagittarius. It's technically moving towards Scorpio instead of towards Capricorn. Sure. And I don't know why it happens, but on an energetic level, you might be experiencing some mishaps in communication. It's not recommended as like a great time to travel, which
is great because we just planned
our Disney trip. But
YOLO.
What I really like to say about Mercury retrograde is that it's not like a time to put your life on hold. Mm-hmm. It happens, 4 times a year, Mercury retrograde?
Yeah.
I can't, especially with like the way that my life is built. I travel a lot for work. Mm-hmm. I can't say, oh, Mercury retrograde is happening during the Tucson Gem Show. Guess we're not getting any crystals.
Yeah. The way my astrologer, Chelsea, who I'll leave her information in the show notes. I feel like I've referenced her so many freaking times. But I personally get an astrology session every quarter to help plan my life and business. So if you're wondering how I choose the dates that registration for Reiki 1 open, I just asked Chelsea when's the most fortuitous time for you and me. But the way that she always describes it is it's not that you can't travel, and it's not that you can't, like, a lot of times people say, like, don't sign contracts during Mercury retrograde because communication's wonky, or don't do anything big and technological because, like, technology can be wonky. She says more like, don't start planning travel in Mercury retrograde. If it's travel that you've been planning
Oh,
prior
that's
to retrograde, then you can plan it, just like have your ducks in a row before then. So she was like, if you're going to go to Florida, book the ticket before Mercury retrograde. If it's in retrograde, like there might be some hiccups, but it's not going to be as bad because you've been planning it. Or like, I think I signed like one of my contracts for my book during Mercury retrograde. And she's like, that's fine because you've been planning it prior to. So just have all your ducks in a row, right? Like we're building out my office now. And she's like, just make sure you have all the calls into the contractors and everything scheduled before Mercury goes retrograde, and then it'll be okay. So it's more like,
oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah. Versus like, the spontaneous trips that I've taken during Mercury retrograde and ended up stranded in Newark and had to drive home. Famously.
I also think like it's the same thing. Okay, so communication might be a little bit difficult. We don't say stop communicating with people. We just, Mercury retrograde and understanding its impact on our energetic fields is a reminder that when there are hiccups, that it's not that the universe is against you, It's not that everyone is conspiring against you and everybody hates you. It's that we are all experiencing some energetic turbulence.
I think this is a hot take. I think Mercury retrograde this time of year is like very fortuitous, very positive, because the antidote, which we've talked about in the past, to, feeling like the universe is against you and Mercury retrograde is like screwing up your life, is to slow everything down and create space for yourself to like literally rest, so that when you, for example, go to a family dinner this week during Mercury retrograde, and everyone's kind of like at each other's throats with like, the chaos that is happening in the world. Yeah. And people are disagreeing. You have enough space in your nervous system to take a breath and go, okay, do I want to step into the Colosseum or do I want to bow out? Right? Like when we operate from a place of no space, we just react to things. We react impulsively. We react out of the habits of our mind, of our nervous system. But when we create space for ourselves, when we slow everything down, when we find stillness, when we give ourselves permission to rest, then we build a little bit more space so that we can choose how we want to respond rather than impulsively reacting.
Yeah, I really like that reframe because my hot take is that Mercury retrograde is often overhyped. And it's like, it's almost always by people who I don't think are like, I never see an astrologer that I really like and trust and respect fearmonger about Mercury retrograde. It's often people who I think are trying to get likes and clicks and, It's honestly, I feel the same way about astrologers that I do about meteorologists.
Oh, okay. Tell me the tea.
It's like a big thing, at least where I live, where hurricanes are a thing.
Shocking.
I don't know if you've heard me talk about a hurricane. If you've ever heard me talk about a hurricane on this podcast. But there's like, people are like on weathermen's teams.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, especially I saw it on TikTok big time this hurricane season, where like people who are not meteorologists at all will see, because like basically you can see that there's like a development in the tropics up to like 2 weeks out. They can like kind of guess that there's going to be something, but they literally don't know if it's a sprinkle or of category 5, right? After Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, people truly lost their marbles. Everybody's traumatized. And people were 100% exploiting that and fear-mongering about things that we have no idea how they're going to impact us for at least 2 weeks. Like hurricanes, even 7 days out is like very touch and go. The closer you get, the more like secure you can feel about what the impact is going to be and where it's going to go.
But even Milton shifted last minute, right?
Kind of. There was a hurricane last year that everybody where I live, the Tampa Bay area, thought that it was going to be like, it was like, this is the big one. Like it's going to, it's coming. That took a sharp turn and went about 2 hours south and really devastated a lot of people. And so anyways, because of this, people make a living fear mongering during hurricane season about how bad something is or isn't going to be. And it works really well.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing for like armchair astrologers.
Yeah.
Mercury retrograde is going to be terrible for this size. And they say, 8 signs.
Yeah.
I think that obviously it is like, we know that it is a time that can cause stress.
Mm-hmm.
But I always say, I probably said this in our last episode, you lived decades probably not knowing what Mercury retrograde was.
Yeah.
And you survived.
Yeah.
You did not follow any rule book for this arbitrary thing that happens 3 or 4 times a year. And it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt even if you went back, like, and maybe you could, maybe you did have some stranded in Newark situation in 2005 that you can recall. And if you went back, you could be like, oh, Mercury was retrograde. But for most of those periods, like, nothing of note really happened.
Yeah. I think something that really helped me understand Mercury retrograde is like understanding astrology as a science. And I'm giving like big old asterisks around science because I know we talk about science, and whenever we say astrology is a science, people are like,
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's this misconception that when Mercury's in retrograde, Mercury is doing this to you. And so then the skeptics are like, well, a planet can't control an airport, right? But in reality, when we say astrology is science, it's really looking at what's happened. Like, it's more like a calendar of like, when Mercury has been retrograde in the past, these things have been more likely to happen. So therefore, we can make predictions about how Mercury retrograde period is going to look based on historical data, thousands and thousands of years.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like tracking the stock market.
Yeah, it's like tracking the stock market or like tracking your period, right? Like if you have a period tracker app, it's like, oh, you're probably going to start your period on this day. Is the app making that happen? No, it's just taking the data that you have input into it. And from that data, it is saying, hey, based on what you've told me in the past, expect a heavy flow on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. And that is why, like, there really should be a Mercury retrograde app now that I think about it. Like, we say to journal through the lunar cycle, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why the more knowledge you have, like, knowledge is power, right?
Yeah.
The more you know about how this has impacted you in the past and the better records you keep, the better your prediction is going to be. Because using the period tracking app as an example, my app, you can input like emotionally how you're feeling, like what your skin looks like, all of those things. The more information you put into it, the better the information is going to come out of it when you're looking to the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And so like, I think the 3 main pillars that we look out for in Mercury retrograde is communication, transportation, technology. Yeah. Those are the things that go wonky. So think about the antidote to those issues. Again, I'm going to harp on it, is space and rest. So think about if you have a flight to catch. Okay. If you show up at the airport right as boarding is happening, and there's a long line at security, and there's issues checking your bag, you can't print your boarding pass, like whatever the issues are, the stress level is just going to go up and up and up and up and up, right? Versus if you go to catch that same flight and all those issues happen, but you arrived super early to the airport and you had a great night's sleep. You know, you picked a departure time that wasn't like 4 a.m. because it was the cheapest option, you know? Like you picked maybe like the 7 a.m. or the 9, right? Then you have more space so that when all these things come up, you're like, okay, I'm not like freaking out. Or say you have a million emails in your inbox and you only have 10 minutes to get through them all, right? You're going to be reacting to each email and responding from your like, just, why is this person saying this? Or like, what is this person doing? Or just being short with people. Versus if you give yourself a little bit more breathing room, maybe you put more space between your appointments. Maybe you push a deadline if you can. Maybe you get to work a few minutes early and just like have a cup of tea at your desk and get settled in so that when you go through those emails, you can really like read them from a more grounded place and respond rather than reacting. or technology. Like I always do this when I'm doing trainings during Mercury retrograde. I will block off 30 minutes before the training so that I can get the Zoom and everything set up. So if I have any kind of issue, I have plenty of time and space to deal with it rather than logging on 3 minutes before class starts and having all these issues and having all my students in the waiting room and not being able to figure it out. So it's like, how can you build in space and how can you decompress so that when these things inevitably come up, you can handle them and manage them with more grace?
Yeah, giving yourself space, I really do think is the key. And I love the airport analogy because, like, that is the most common thing that I see people talk about, honestly, during Mercury retrograde. And it is, like, such a simple answer. And that's what I mean when I say, like, it's not the time to put your life on hold. It's the time to accept the reality of the situation, that we know that this is going to be a more common thing. And even in our communication with other people, giving ourselves more space of like getting really comfortable, taking a step back and saying, I need a second to think about this before I respond to you.
Yeah.
Something I've gotten really comfortable with in the last like 6 months maybe is not answering texts as soon as I get them.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm so bad at responding to texts lately.
And that is something that I think that we could all work on through this retrograde, is getting a message. This actually happened to me a couple days ago through the shadow period. I got a text that really activated my nervous system. And our first instinct is always like, I have to respond right now. Like I have to make it better in some way. Like I have to fix the thing, even if nothing's wrong. Like that, my brain thinks it's a tiger.
Sure.
Put the phone down and breathe. The existence of a text is not an obligation to respond.
Ooh, put that on a t-shirt.
I'm tattooing it on my forehead.
I actually have a really good practice that I have done for years that I'm going to share with you all. 2 practices if you have this experience with text. The first is put your phone on Do Not Disturb. My phone literally lives on Do Not Disturb. I don't get a single notification. I don't. It's great. I love it. My second one, if you have to have your notifications on, like say you're a parent, you're on call for work, whatever, is turn your text tone and your ringtone into a mindfulness cue. This is essentially where you Pavlov yourself to become mindful when you hear or you feel that vibrate. So how you do this is make yourself a reminder. I used to set it as my phone, my lock screen background that said like, take a deep breath. Okay. So whenever you hear your text tone, before you look at the lock screen, before you look at the notification, before you look at anything, like let that be your cue. When you hear your ringtone go off, take a breath. You don't have to answer on the first ring. Okay. I don't care what job you have. As someone who literally worked on a crisis support line for 9 years, you do not have to answer on the first ring. Second ring is okay. The person on the other end of the phone would much rather you answer from a grounded place, no matter what your job is, than answer frazzled. Great example of this. This happened yesterday and I'm still laughing about it. And Linda, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. Also, if you're a podcast listener, that would be a weird coincidence. I had to call Walgreens customer support yesterday and they were bouncing me around to different people and I was on hold and then the person picked up and all I hear is
oh no.
And I was like, are you okay?
Suddenly you're the customer support.
I know. I was like, take a breath, get a drink of water. It's okay. Like, I'm not in a rush. You're fine.
How can I support?
Yeah, I was like, all right, do you need, like, feel free to put me back on hold, like, whatever you need. I was kind of pissed off at Walgreens when I called, and that, I was just like, no, it's fine, whatever you need, like, and so I promise you, whatever the phone call is, it can wait for a ring. But once you start to cue yourself to do that for like a week or so, it will become automatic. I did this famously with the smell of fresh ground coffee. So now every morning when I make my coffee, I list 3 things that I'm grateful for. And it's just like automatic. You've Pavloved yourself.
And if you're listening, thinking that the idea of Do Not Disturb is stressful, because it was to me, like when we first started recording this podcast and I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb for an hour once a week, it was really stressful to me. The idea that like, what if I miss something? Or what if someone calls me and it goes straight to voicemail and they assume that I'm dead? And then, the police knock on my door. Because that's a projection. That's what I do when somebody doesn't answer or when the phone goes straight to voicemail. The act of doing it, even just for like 10, 15 minutes, it's like exposure therapy. And now when I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, it feels peaceful.
Yeah. Yeah. I also think if you want to baby step into this, turn your notifications off for your social media.
That, oh my God, that should be mandatory for all. When we first started the podcast Instagram, I feel like we both have had different like iterations of this, but you actually were the one who said to me like, oh my God, your Instagram notifications are still on. Because if you don't know, I have my own Instagram. I have 2 business Instagrams, and I have the podcast Instagram on my phone. You might imagine we get some DMs on all of those.
Some likes.
And every time somebody messaged us, I immediately was like, I have to drop everything I'm doing and answer this person. Whether it was somebody who had a question about something for the store, whether it was one of you guys, like just saying something nice and kind. And I said to you, I was like, Molly, I feel very overwhelmed. I don't know if I can, like, I feel so heavy, like with the idea of having to answer all these people all the time and like immediately be available. And you were like, you need to turn your Instagram notifications off. Mm-hmm. Because it is not at all about answering the messages. I love Demystify Magic Instagram is my favorite Instagram to be on. I spend more time on that Instagram than I do on my own. The messages are lovely. It became the pressure that I put on myself to be available all the time. That was what was causing the stress. Yeah.
But when you carved out space in your day to respond, then you could actually respond and enjoy the messages. Space is key.
Space is key.
I have another tip for Mercury Retrograde, especially since for some of you in the US, you might be celebrating Thanksgiving with family this week. My go-to whenever communication snafus come up during a family dinner is I immediately volunteer to do the dishes. And then while I'm doing the dishes, I'm focusing on my feet on the floor.
Why is that so funny? I just imagine like an all-out brawl occurring and you just standing up and going, I'll do the dishes.
I don't even say anything. What I do is I just start standing up. I stack my plates and then I start grabbing people's plates. That's what I do. And then I just get up and I just start doing the dishes. Nobody will complain, number one. Nobody will interrupt you.
And then you're the angel of Thanksgiving.
You're the angel of Thanksgiving. There's like water and, you know, I have brought my own dish gloves to Thanksgiving dinner before because I'm a dish glove girly because my cuticles are a wreck all the time. So doing dishes with gloves is so much better. So, and if you feel weird about that, I have wrapped it as a hostess gift before. So I've given this is crazy. You were looking at me like I have 10 heads. I made a little basket with like kitchen towels for the season and like dish gloves and like cute soap. Like, you know, you can make it into a cute little hostess thing.
So you make the cute little gift and then 30 minutes later you say, hey, you know those gloves I just bought you? Where are those?
No. I'm just saying if you need an excuse, whatever, okay?
Just hide them in your bag.
No one's going to argue. Then it's weirder if I dig out my own gloves.
No one's going to notice. They're all arguing.
POV, my whole family knows I have OCD and is not shocked when I do things like this.
I was like, where are they going that they don't know you well enough to understand your choices?
I'm just saying, I'm just giving
That's the most Molly thing I've ever heard in my life. BYODG.
Bring your own dish gloves. Anyways, no one's going to argue with you. You're going to have sounds and smells and things to keep you grounded. You can focus on your feet on the floor. You can focus on your breath. I have meditations literally for washing dishes, so you could practice it before so that when you go into Thanksgiving, you're ready. We'll drop those in the show notes. But that's my go-to. You do not, one of my teachers always says famously, you do not need to go to every fight you're invited to.
I love that.
Yeah. You can just get up. I'm going to do the dishes.
Can't relate.
Does anyone want a second slice of pie?
Love that.
I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be back when this conversation's
yes,
over.
that one.
There are your outs. Take them all.
Another excellent grounding activity.
Yes. Clear that energy.
Create some space by sitting on the toilet with some TikTok.
Mm-hmm. Or your poop book.
Give yourself a little treat.
Little treat.
Take a little treat to the bathroom.
Bring a little smut novella on your phone. Put it on your Kindle app and just read it while you go.
It doesn't have to be hard.
No.
Okay.
Wait. There are other things you can do to prepare yourself for Mercury retrograde. I am someone that I prepare with tools.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to have a little mental toolbox, little mindfulness toolbox, but then a physical toolbox. So I am always bringing my Mercury retrograde oil roller, or I got the room spray recently, and that has been my bathroom spray. So I've really been enjoying that. So guests will spray it in the bathroom.
Excellent. Wait, that's such a good idea. How have I never thought of that? A bathroom spray.
Yeah. I know. It's really good because it's the only spray in there, so people will naturally spray it. So it just gets sprayed multiple times a day. It's so good. So definitely Mercury retrograde spray in the bathroom. And the Mercury retrograde candle I am lighting like usually before people arrive or when I have like a training. Historically, we have had issues recording this podcast during Mercury retrograde, and I have flicked that candle on and the issues have totally gone away. So it's really magic.
You could put your Mercury retrograde trio in your little gift basket with your dish gloves.
There you go. You need a Mercury retrograde dish soap.
Yes.
The truth.
Oh my God. Coming to a Healing Hedge Witch near you. If you don't know, one of my family's 2 stores at Healing Hedge Witch, I made a little Mercury retrograde line. There's a candle, an oil roller, and a room spray. And
there's a ritual kit.
And a ritual kit. Too. Oh my God.
Love that one.
Molly knows my discography better than me at this point. But I would be remiss if I didn't give a little plug and let you know that right now, both the Healing Hedge Witch and Spellcrafter have little Black Friday deals going on where with a purchase of $100 or more, you'll get a cute little Grateful Witch t-shirt from the Healing Hedge Witch, and at Spellcrafter with an order of $100 or more. This is both online or in store. Just mention it at the register if you're local. We're giving away a little tea light set of one of each of our house-made spell candles.
Cute.
So you can do a little try 'em all situation, a spell for every moment. But with the Mercury retrograde candle, people will often ask me for recommendations of like herbs and crystals to use during Mercury retrograde. And honestly, I just go with what's on the candle. Like I fully made that candle with the just like with what I use and what makes sense to me and what I gravitate towards during Mercury retrograde. So if you're not a candle, oil, or spray person, okay, weird, but whatever. Candle and the oil are both rosemary scented, so it's rosemary essential oil. Rosemary is just to me like a perfect all-in-one protection, cleansing, vibe
Grounding.
Reset herb. And then it's topped with rose, which I think is really great for compassion, both for ourselves and for others during this time.
Yep.
Common sage, another great cleansing situation. And lavender to soothe the nervous system.
That's going to be a really good, like, complementary scent for Thanksgiving as well.
It's going with the turkey.
Yeah. Or the tofurkey in my case.
It's not gonna clash with your side dish smells. And then it's also topped with Amazonite crystal chips, which is my favorite stone for communication. I will keep it with me before any kind of, like, if I'm not Zooming with you, if I'm Zooming with somebody else, which is rare, but if I'm talking to somebody new, I gravitate towards it at the store a lot because I get nervous talking to new people. Yeah.
You have earrings with Amazonite on it too at Healing Hedge Witch.
Yes. Is that how you say it? Amazonite?
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like I flip and flop. It's like pecan, pecan. It depends who I'm around.
I just say, like, literally, I just walk around the gem shows and I just listen to how people are saying things and I say what they say.
Yes, exactly. It's very, I think it's like a dialect thing. Amazonite, Amazonite.
Well, you know, potato, potato.
Yeah. But anyways, if you need to get your order up, my favorite item at the Healing Hedge Witch are these hoop earrings that have like crystal points that come down. I have all of them, I think, except for the Amazonites.
Really?
I think that's the only one I'm missing from my collection.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
But they're my favorites and they're really, really lovely. Their quality is amazing and they're just so cute. I get compliments on them all the time. I need to break those out.
I know. I realized the other day that I haven't worn mine in quite a while.
I haven't worn jewelry in forever. I
Well,
think because it's all packed still.
Yeah, you've been a little busy. But yeah, there's a cutie little sale situation happening for you.
When does it end?
It ends on December 2nd.
Right before our merch launch.
I know. One thing right before another. We're just a domino effect of exciting.
Love that for us.
So, yeah, those are my favorite things for Mercury Retrograde. And that's that on that.
That's that on that. Love that for you. Did we do it?
I think we did it.
All right. Well, let us know how your retrograde's going and your favorite place to get a churro at Disney World.
Yeah.
Because I'll be going to all of them.
Every single one. We're not eating a thing other than churros.
Only churros.
Only churros. All right. We love you very much.
Love you.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Demystify Magic with Molly and Madison. If you want to learn more about us, you can find all our links in the show notes.
We'd love to know what you think of today's episode, so drop us a review or give us a shout out on social media. And don't forget to let us know your magical moment of the week. Okay, love you. Bye.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.